Podcast, Max. Thank you so much. We've got a Mac and a Max, so I don't know where you're going to fit in, buddy, because wherever there's a Mac, it's magnanimous.
I'm the differentiator. I'm the only special one with a special name.
So welcome to the Live Beyond podcast. My name is McFarlane Muledi, and alongside me is Lloyd Marlow, our fitness coach. And we've got a very, very special guest with us today. Her name is Mags Bolawana, which is quite interesting. She's going to tell us a little bit about that, how we got there. But she's the CEO of Digital Shero, right? A media group, a South African digital marketing and media solutions company. And this was established in 2015.
Right.
She's dedicated to bringing innovative solutions for business online. Founder of BGR Foundation, Bloem Girls, Guys Rock, a non-profit organization based in Bloemfontein in the Free State, South Africa. BGR Foundation focus on education support, skills development, and community engagement initiatives to make a difference in the lives of young individuals across the Free State. Mags, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to the Live Beyond podcast.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for giving off of your time.
Yeah.
We know that you're a very busy person. So we're going to try and make this as meaningful as possible.
Yes.
And we are positive that your message and your story will inspire a lot of people. But first of all, we're very interested in the person.
Yeah.
Who is Bolawana? Where was Bolawana born?
Oh, so I was born Go Tabanchu. Which is a small town just outside of Bloemfontein.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying earlier that my mom, it was like a typical teenage pregnancy story.
Yeah.
But because we're from such humble beginnings, she could not go back to school. So my grandmother actually forced her to leave school. So she never finished high school. And then, so she then went to Bloemfontein to go find a job. So when she got comfortable, I think when I was around 4, she came to pick me up. And then I lived with my mom from when I was in crèche to primary. Okay, I lived with my mom until university.
Yeah.
But my memories with my mom was when I was in primary school, she was actually a security guard. And where we stayed, it was like a room like this, actually. We lived in rooms, and she used to rent rooms, just the two of us. And I remember when I came back from school, me and my mom would pass each other on the streets.
Yeah.
She'll be going to work because she's a security guard. And I'm going home because I'm coming back from school.
She's going for the night shift.
She's going for the night shift, yeah. For some reason, that was normal. For me,
That was your normal.
That was my normal. This is during before 94, guys. So there was a time where, I don't know if you guys remember about Power and all of that, where students will go and take kids out of school, and then there will be
it used to be called Black Power.
Yes. There will be they'll be lighting tires on the streets and all of that. I used to have to go walk home during that, and I get home and my mom is not there. And I can't imagine what she went through as a mom. She's fending for me. She's making sure that I go to school and I finish school. But this is what she needs to go through for me to be okay. But luckily, I'm so grateful that nothing ever happened to me. She surrounded herself with people that were looking after me, so that room, she will leave the food, but then she will tell the lady next door, hey, please make sure that Kasiksi, she must eat all this food. You know how kids are. So the lady will make sure I eat, I sleep, and then we do it again next day, So that's how I grew up. And then by the time I was in high school, my mom eventually found a job where she was cooking at a takeaway store. So she was cooking at the back, makuenya and all of that. So it was at a factory area. So she used to walk all the way there. And then my mom, so part of my story, it has a lot to do with her.
With your mom.
With my mom. I'm an only child. She raised me by herself. And so my mom saw an open land when she was going to work every day. She decided to put a shack there. One man, a woman actually.
She actually built it herself.
She
A woman put it up, one man.
like yes, she put the shack, and then opposite the shack, the open land, there was a residential area. So the people from the area came to chase her away because she was like, they were like, she's where there is a squatter camp, there's going to be a whole lot of crime, and because now she's starting a squatter camp, right?
Yes.
She's like, but where am I going to go? I have a child, you know. Maybe 2-3 days later, another shack came. Guess, women, two ladies. Then the whole squatter camp started building up. So my mom created a whole squatter camp just because she just saw an open land. 3 years later, the very same people that were chasing us away, they used to come to her for advice. If they are fighting with their husbands, she's the one who used to go there to help them. It's crazy.
It's crazy because, and then think about the fact that it's obviously a problem, right?
Yeah.
The first thing that you do, they see this shack there, and all they think are, oh my God, they're coming to eat us.
There goes the neighborhood.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yes.
Yet that very same shack became a place of hope and solace for a lot of people.
100%.
I also want to go back to something, right? And this is something that we don't often speak about.
Yeah.
We say it was normal. We think it was normal, right? What was happening during that rioting time or whatever. I remember Hanirudula Sebokeng, right? Because more or less around the same time, you couldn't go to school because there were uprisings, there were riots. And if they saw you in your school uniform going to school, they would either take you out the base or the kumbi or whatever, and you'd be chased out and go join in the strike or go burn tires, right? And you say, thank God nothing happened. My brother, my late brother, we used to have a red Honda Ballad back in those days, right? He'd take us to school, but we'd have to wear civvies. We'd have to wear civvies and drive now through Kasi. Sometimes he has to avoid where they're burning tires because obviously they open the doors, they search cars, they want to look for school books, etc., etc. And then you're just sitting there. Luckily, he was a PAC member at the time, so he knew a lot of the comrades from their times or whatever, and say, hey, man, you know that you don't mess with family type of thing. They had like a bit of a code, right? But we think of those times, we think of those rights, we think of going home to an empty house, and it was our normal. In retrospect, that's trauma.
That's
well, understand. Like, I don't see you taking any one of your kids through that, or imagine them, surviving something like that. And to us, it was normal, and it can't have been. No. You know, it can't have been.
Yeah.
So. When you think about that time and you look at your kids now and you see yourself
no
now.
ways. Like, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but I think those days also and how I grew up has been one of the things, the tools that you're talking about, where I know where I come from and I know there is nothing I can face that I will not overcome. It doesn't matter how long I'm facing this thing, because I definitely know I'm not going back there. You know, so I've like built a thick skin so much that where I am today, when I face whoever, I'm always, even people are like, who does this girl think she, because I like, do you know me? Do you know like how I built my company where it is today? Do you think that you can just take that or threat, like nobody can do nothing to me because I have gone through so much that, but I didn't even realize I was going through it. I just thought this is normal, you know. So all the other obstacles, I'm like,
whatever.
So I'm very interested in hearing about your mother. Yeah. And it sounds like she was a very strong person, and obviously had a profound impact on you. Yeah. And the person that you've become.
She loved the community.
Were you the only child?
Yes, so I'm an only child. So my mom, because she didn't want to bear her own children, so in the whole squatter camp that we grew up in, my mom, when it was Christmas, December, Easter, she used to get these kids, right, to then if you have 20 cents, she wanted them to feel like they contributed something. But majority of the things, especially for Christmas, she will, like she make food for them, and then the ones that are at the worst situations, she will buy them Christmas clothes. I'll come home and I see a whole bunch of kids. I'm like, what's going on? Ke party. You know, she just wants them to have the feeling of Christmas. That's how she was. As much as crazy. I have over 100 kids that I'm helping in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, I like mostly of them actually are the ones that my mom was helping because they were like 2-3 years old at the time. And now they're like 18, 19 and, you know. So I realized that the part of my social impact and how I got to help my community, it stems from her. You know, so as much as then she started the squatter camp, she became highly involved in the community. She, at the time, ANC was the best place to be at. So she used to be like a member of the ANC. She used to she made sure people got RDP houses, you know. Remember, there was also like that transition. Yeah, the transition. We were the last ones to get the house because she's like, hey, I don't want people to say just because I'm in front, I'm getting the house first. So we were the last house that got built in the area. And then so she was really involved. And then I think my love for, as you can see with BGR, with Bloem Girls Rock, my love for soccer comes from the fact that I grew up with Bloemfontein Celtics, you know, so so funny, my mom,
isn't that somewhere in Limpopo?
No. Bloemfontein Celtics.
No, but Bloemfontein Celtics got bought over. No?
Yeah, by Mamki's, but yeah, that's
by Mamki's. So it was in Natal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
don't hurt her feelings.
Yeah, we're not. We getting.
I'm a Sundowns fan.
So funny enough, my mom. Another story that I think that she would love is that from a Celtics perspective, stadium at the time only is Saramabud. Now it's Datemo Lemela, the founder of Celtics.
Yeah. Right.
So I used to go to soccer matches with my mom, right? We were in Mvela at the time, we were not on the PSL. And I remember it was like maybe like 10-20 minutes walk from home. And then when she comes, I don't know if you've watched a Celtic game. Those people sing like their passion.
Yeah.
And then, but it wasn't a stadium at the time, nearly fence fella. So you'll see everybody coming in and out. Yes. And then when they see me, sister, bring her. So then they will lift me up from the fence. Wow. And then she'll go to the gate and pay for herself and then come get. That was like us. Like the kids at the stadium never really paid because all the fans used to like drag them up like this. That was like one of and for me those are the memories. It feels so sad that my kids, I hope we do something about Bloemfontein Celtics because I feel like that's like a whole culture. Everybody from home, like there's a Celtic story. It
was amazing.
Yeah, so that's one of the that was my mom. Like this is how she just used to. She raised me like that and just made me part of the community. Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing. Have you ever asked her what actually drove her? I mean, you obviously got the influence from her.
Yeah, I think
is it just a matter of back then, because everyone was going through difficulty, everyone just used to chip in and try to do their bit.
It takes a village to raise a child, right? And remember when I think on our generation we knew our neighbors. And Tatwaka next door could blitzen you if you did something wrong and you'd be more afraid of your parent hitting you than you were of that little clap that you got from that parent. Or, hey, why are you smoking kapo? Why are you sunana strate? You know what I mean? Those kind of things. Everybody was your parent.
That's why I was an only child, but I was never naughty because Nebanshebi like these people.
Everyone.
Remember, she's at work, so I can get up to a lot of things, but I never could because I knew. I've been like maybe 2 people who have came to my mom's house. Hey, this is what Bolawana did.
Yeah.
And because we're talking about apartheid, and I could see she had a lot of anger, and I can't even imagine. I can imagine why, because of the circumstances she was raising me in. Mm-hmm. So if anything triggers her, if anyone tells her I did something wrong, yo. Hey, so so I knew not to do anything bad, because these people are watching me and they also like respect her so much.
And you didn't want to disappoint her.
Yeah, I just did not. I'm like, I don't want to, So she really pushed me. I think education, because she never finished high school. Remember, she pushed me to go to school, and then when I did my matric, I said to her, I want to go to university. she was freaking out. Like, we were living in an RDP house. A university is something that is beyond her, you know. So I remember telling her, no, there is these places where if I get in, I'm never leaving. You know, I'm not getting out of there. So then I got her to pay for my registration.
Yeah.
And then that's the last thing she did. Everything else, she just had to make sure that I wear nice clothes to go to school. Everything else, because I used to get funding.
Before we continue, thank you for following the Live Beyond podcast. Please press the subscribe button. And in the section below, leave your comments. Let us know what you think about the podcast and any future guests you would like to see. Also, would like to say thank you to our partners and our sponsors for making this platform possible. And we continue.
Max, your mom is now panicking, thinking, what am I going to do? My child wants to go to university. And, you know, having always been that supportive mom, there was no way that she was not going to let you go through varsity. What did you study? And, you know, what was that like?
So I studied marketing because I think when I was in grade 12, I went to the nearest library. We used to have libraries, guys. People still go to libraries.
No, they've got Google now.
You know, I went to a library and I asked for like a career book, and I remember that book had like, if you have this personality, this is what will fit you, you know. So that's why I chose marketing, because everything there was about my personality. I chose it because it felt like something I would love to do. Luckily, I'm so glad, because then I really loved it, you know.
Yeah, you're one of the few lucky ones in that regard.
Yeah, I actually am lucky, because then 3 years, record time, got my stuff, my qualifications, and I was out of there.
Yeah.
And then, so I moved to Joburg a year after I graduated to try to find a job. And then when I found a job, that was 2007, 2008, that's when my mom passed away. So she passed away right. So, you know, when you were asking a question earlier, like, what drove her? How did she, you know, I never got a chance for us to have that conversation, you know. So sometimes I'm like, I wish she was here, because literally, like, when I got a job, when I got my first car, she was gone. So it's quite so even her in going she still played such a huge role, because then she had adopted a boy in our area who she was, because both of his parents had passed away. So she was taking him through school. So now he became my adopted brother. So then I had to take care of him, make sure that he was in grade 11 at the time. So I had to make sure that he gets through varsity. And now he's a grown-ass... Sorry.
He's a grown-ass man. He's a grown-ass man.
He's taking care of himself. Yeah, so I took care of himself. And then as I was doing that, then I realized, you know, my mom left so many people behind. And that's when I went. So when I started my company, in 2015, and Digital Shero. I started my company.
And what was that all about? You know, I started my company, Digital Shero. Where did that come from? What inspired that? And what's Digital Shero all about? Because we forget like where these things start. Like, we've got careers now. We're living our best lives. But you know, there's somewhere where there was that spark that was ignited, and the reason why it was Digital Shero. To take us a little bit.
You know, when you have when your character is a bit stubborn, and you don't like being told what to do, you are more likely to be an entrepreneur at heart.
Right.
Because that was like. You know, and don't tell me what to do. I'm gonna do what I need to do, you know. So when I was in corporate, when I was working, when those things, I don't need this place. I'm gonna do my own thing. So eventually, when I was pregnant with my daughter, actually that's when my husband was like, "Babe, I think one of us needs to be outside of the system, and because you are more on the creative side and all of that, I think you must take the plunge, you know, because now our son, we used to miss so many of his school activities because we were both working, you know. So I think when our daughter was coming, like, no, we can't live like this, you know. So one of us at least, you know. So that was one of the reasons my kids, my husband really pushed me to do it as well. And also because I knew I had the character to do it, it kind of helped. And also, I also realized, like, one of the reasons that I realized wherever company I moved, because I had moved to like maybe 4 or 5 companies in my career, most of my clients moved with me. You know, so that also felt like there was something there, you know. It's like
they were there because of you.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
like whatever you're selling will buy. What is it? What are you selling this time? You know.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe the same people, but funny enough, they never did. But they never supported my company, but they gave me the courage to be like, I'm gonna do this, you know.
Yeah.
So I think they were there for that reason, for me to do what I need to do.
There was a purpose that they had in your life.
Exactly, because then when I move, I'm moving alone, and they were like, now you're alone, we can't take the risk. We are big companies, you know. So if anything goes wrong, so I didn't take it personally, you know. I was like, yeah, actually now it makes sense, you know. So, but then I created my own clients. So yeah, so that's when I started the company in 2015.
Why the name Digital Shero?
Digital Shero, I don't know if you'll notice, both of my companies, 3, Bloem Girls rock, Bloem Guys rock, Digital Shero. It's like a mantra for me.
Okay.
Right.
You know, so when I started my company, I was like, I want to go in as the Digital Shero. You know, Shero, I get it. It's the female version of
Hero.
Yeah. But the name where it actually come from is when I grew up, when I came back from school. I don't know if you guys remember Shira.
Shira, yes.
Yes, Shira was my girl.
Shira, man.
Yes. So Shira, I'm from a township school. So back then, I don't know if you like. I think even now, some programs they used to make Shira used to be speaking vernac. Yes. So at home in the Free State was Sesotho.
Yeah, simulcasting.
So
it's called simulcasting.
Yeah, simulcasting. Yes. So she used to. So I used to like remember Shiro kicking ass, be like Libisa like Shiro, you know. I don't know somehow, and this is how I spend my days after school watching Shira. So when I was thinking of now birthing this company, I was like, I want to come in as a girl that's going to like make a difference and change people's lives. And so that's where it come from. Even like the foundation, like I want my kids, whoever is aligned with me, they must know that they are going to do something with their lives. They're going to do something with themselves. Yes. So that's where Bloem Girls and Bloem Guys rock come from. Like, you are proud to say, I rock, you know. Yeah. So I realized those are my mantras in a way. So they keep me going. That's how. But then Niki's Digital Shira to CIPC came back as Digital Shero. I was like, okay, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have time because now you know when you're starting a business, you're like you're moving fast. The Libiso comes wrong. No, I don't have time to change this. Let's go.
Shiro.
It's still and Shiro. I don't think everybody knows Shira, but Shiro, it's like more like a global name anyway, and that's where my company is going or is. So I was like, I need to give it a name that's representative, and also. When I started my company, the reason I also started my company actually is because I didn't see people that look like me in the leadership roles, especially like with any industry, right? Yeah. So that's why, because I used to be like, why? I'll go to places, I'm like, why? And then it's only men here. And then there was that thing in my head, like, okay, you keep complaining. What are you going to do about it?
Absolutely.
Be the change you want to see.
You
right?
know, exactly. Yeah. So that's why then it was very intentional to name my company and name that people will know this company is run by women. You know, and I did get a little bit of backlash, but you know, sometimes you have to listen where the criticism comes from. The people that were like criticizing this guy was like, no man wants to work for a company called Digital Shero. I'm like, thank goodness the company name is going to filter all those men away from me, you know. I don't want a man who doesn't want to be led by women. What's wrong, you know?
Yeah,
so
what's that about?
Exactly. So I really like intentionally the name was like people must know. It's either, because even when I'm hiring, I'm going to hire a CEO, it's going to be a woman. The company needs to be led by a woman. The company will be like, but it's not going to be majority, the employees being women, because I also understand the power of transformation in any level, you know. So and my unconscious bias is that I will hire a black woman, but sometimes like, I can't hire another black woman. I have to hire men. I have to hire white people. I have white people, Indians, everybody in my company. That was that's very intentional because I just don't want to create another monster that now my kids have to fight years from now. So I was like, as much as it's important for my company to be led by women, it's also important for my company to be transformed.
Inclusion and diversity. Right?
That's like for me, that's the whole point. You can't say you want inclusion. Okay, I'm not going against whoever who only has black people in their company. It's okay. Big ups for you. But for me, for me, the meaning of inclusion is that everybody needs to be represented, right? So that's why it's important then for my company to be diverse. It's important for my clients to, if whoever calls me anywhere in the world, when they see my company, when they see my employees, they feel represented. They feel like, okay, this person is going to understand my brand, So that's how I also looked at it. Yeah.
And that's a very important concept. We often don't think about it, and I might digress a little bit, but we always speak about being a person that is fair, being a person that is just, is being that is transformation, but that a person that is also not biased or whatever, right? So in the same breath, where somebody will say, look, I'm not racist, but they're a homophobe. That is still that is still wrong. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
that is still wrong. Yeah. You can't be a homophobe yet say you're not a racist. You're still having something against someone because either of the way they are, the color of their skin or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's a concept that very few people grapple with. Like, no, I'm not a racist. I love everyone, whatever, but I don't like gays, or I like gays or whatever, etc., etc. But you're a racist. You know what I mean? You can't, because prejudice is prejudice. It's prejudice. It has no color or whatever. So big ups on that. It's actually a wonderful concept.
Thank you.
So just to take a step back in terms of your upbringing and your parents. Did you have a relationship with your father?
So he passed away when I was 5. Yeah, I was 5 years old when my dad passed away, but he had issues with my mom, so he still had an opportunity to become a father until I was 5, which I never had a relationship with, and it's crazy. I did mention my mom had her issues, right?
Yeah.
But in the midst of all of that, I only found out after my mom passed away that this guy, like, what really happened.
Yeah.
She never made him look like a bad person. So I think also it helps me to have such a very safe relationship with men, because my mom never made my dad look like a horrible person.
Right.
So she just said to me, when you have your car, we'll go drive and you'll see where he was from, where he was raised. But she just told me that he passed away. Yeah. So she really, I don't think people understand how these things are important to your upbringing, because I really believe I have such a good relationship with my husband. I have a good relationship with men around me and the masculine energy because of what my mom instilled in me, So no, I never really had any relationship with him, but somehow I still feel like he's also still looking up.
Did you meet him at any point?
Maybe my the small part of me did meet her. It's a memory I don't have, because his family will say, yes, I used to go there to their house and whatever after my mom passed away, and they were telling me stories, but I don't remember.
Right.
I really don't remember. Maybe Klamile gets like some hypnotherapy. I just can feel like his energy around me is very protective, So but I don't remember her.
But how important do you think that is, especially for the girl child, right? I mean, men, we can go off on a different totally tangent when it comes to men and what happens in society, right? But how important do you think it is, though, for us to be able to talk about those things, number one, and number two, for the protection of the girl child when it comes to things like that, whether absent fathers or fathers that die, or the role that men play in women's lives, because you said very proudly and boldly that I am comfortable around men. I am happy with what my mom said and did, because now that's allowed me to be able to have a good relationship with men. But more often than not, the opposite happens, right? A lot of people are angry, a lot of people hate men, a lot of people have issues. People, we speak about daddy issues, but these are things that are entrenched, and these things are deep and really shape who we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see with my daughter how she just feels like she's a superstar because
like
of her. A Shero, yes. Because of her dad.
Yes.
I actually even just feel like it's men that are not present that are actually missing out.
They're doing themselves a disservice, right?
Yeah.
Because my husband lives for coming home, and my daughter, daddy.
Oh yeah, that's so nice.
It's such a beautiful. I just can only imagine if I grew up with my dad, maybe that's how I would have been. Like the confidence that she has, I would have been more confident. I don't know if there's such a thing with me.
More than this.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but the relationship with her, and not to take away other people's lived experience, because then that's another thing. As much as there is daughters that are growing up with their dads and they have these beautiful relationships with them. There's also people that we live in this world, we know what's happening, So I really, like I said, I'll just answer your question. It's just that I just feel like, men, if you actually if you knew what you are missing out on, you will not do that to yourself first of all, and it's always usually self first before you even give anybody anything, So it's really sad, and I truly believe that if men were more involved in bringing up their children, our world will be such a better place, and we now have seen stats about kids that actually are raised by their dads. You can see what happens to this child. Even a dad as a single parent, they are great, So if we had more of that, I truly believe our world would have probably turned out a bit better. Yeah.
And talk to us a bit now about your journey of giving back.
Yeah. So I started Bloem Girls Rock Foundation in 2018. This is when just after I started my company 3 years ago. And I used to go home, and I'll just go to my mom's house just to go check it out because my uncle now lives there just to, check it out. And then there will be these girls that will just sit around me like, hey, Bolawana, how are you doing? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Okay, sharp. I go home. I come back to Joburg. And then there was Facebook. So they will send me messages and be like, yo, do you know how nice it is to chill with you? I'm like, me? Like, yeah, just for us to sit with you and we see that you have left and you're living your life. It makes our dreams possible.
Yeah.
So I was like, really? Me? you? So then I was like, okay, maybe I must do something for these girls, So when my company did well, in 2017, I then did a picnic for them. I was like, I want to take these kids because all they know is this environment. Squatter camping. There's a huge difference.
And remote.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, I hired a bus. I'm taking my kids out of this place. They must see just an hour away from Bloem what's possible.
Life beyond the squatter camp,
yes,
right?
exactly.
Yes.
And I was very precise with the aesthetics of it all. I was like, the things that we take for granted when we go to restaurants, small things, to them, these are big things, I made sure they get the best food, they are treated, they're at a beautiful place.
Yeah.
That was the first time I then did something physical, with a group of girls. So I chose girls at the time because I felt like I'm a girl's girl. I'm very impactful with girls, and they see me, so it's not difficult for them to be like, whatever I want to do, it's possible.
Yeah, to relate.
They can relate to me because they are girls, you know. So, and at the time also like women, we had put a lot of
Emphasis
in women empowerment and in making a girl child this and that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my part and my role in the time. So then eventually I started a foundation, Bloem Girls Rock. So then we started realize, okay, what can we do for these girls? We pushed them to go to finish high school. Most of them are university, you know, like we pushed them. One of them is employed at Digital Shero. You know, that was like the ecosystem. And then 2021, I was in Bloem. And then I was at my mom's house. And then I see this gang of boys coming towards me, you know. But now it's having like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. So I thought they are passing. They're around me. They're like, Osmax, we can see what you're doing with the girls. Why can't the boys be part of it, you know?
Oh man, I've got goosebumps because like, so when how about when they come into thinking clever, that's it, we get that clever can.
And I married my guys from Soweto. He's taught me. So I was like, really? They're like, they can see the progress of the girls. You cannot. If you have eyes to see, you'll see the girls before they were part of me and where they are now. So they saw it with them. I'm like, so ka joke ke re but ke Bloem Girls Rock mos. But we don't care about the name. We just want to be part of this.
Oh man.
And I was like, but I'm scared that you guys, I'm not gonna listen to me because I'm a woman. We're like, we're gonna listen to anything that you want us to listen to.
Yeah.
As long as we are part of this. Yeah, no, that humbled me because I used to like wonder, like, I used to be like, why are men not helping a boy child? You know, like, because I used to feel like maybe it was also my own insecurity and my projection, feeling like I won't be impactful to a boy child. Well, I'm actually raising a boy, funny enough. But I just probably was like, I feel like actually the truth is I didn't feel like it was my problem. I felt it was men's, oh wow, I'm having a home. My own revelation here. Yeah, I really did not see it as but it is my problem because I am raising my girls in this community and these boys that are not empowered, that they don't have the confidence. What's the first thing a man does when they are around a woman who's confident? So now I'm creating another problem, right? So that's why then it made sense for for the boys to be part of this because both of them are doing their own thing.
This is a beautiful moment. I feel like it's all coming back to you now, right? It's all coming back to you and you realize how important it is because I can see almost like running through your mind. I wish I did it sooner, actually. Because and that's important because we create this sort of perfect environment to protect and raise our girls and give them the strength that they need to be the sheroes that we want them to be. And then we leave the boys behind, and when we leave the boys behind, what are they going to do to those girls? We've got as much of a responsibility to raise a good, strong, powerful African woman, which has always been the case, but let's not leave the boys behind.
We don't live alone.
We're going to find ourselves in trouble.
So that's when I then, when I realized, they are really serious, I'm like, okay, I need to start. So we have a project manager in the area. I needed to start seeing their school results, where they are, how they are at schools, because they go to a township schools and, they go through their own things at school. So when we started doing this, I was like, okay, you guys, let's track where you are and then for like how you guys going further. So then I started doing like some activities with them, and then I found out that majority of them are part of a soccer team, Yes. Like, okay, 1 + 1 get 2. So these kids, they go to
amazing.
Yes. They go to
Enter
school. Yes. They go to school. And then after they come back from school, they have all the time in the world. What are they doing with that time? Nothing. They start getting up to no good because there will be other bad kids around them.
Yes.
They will convince each other, hey, like, but as a child, you think it's okay, but it's not, So I was like, okay, 2 is that I need to take my boys out of the streets. They need to be busy. Take them off the streets. They need to be busy. I grew up in the streets. I saw what happened to these boys in this, like, the boys I grew up with, they look like they are 67 years, 70 years old right now. Because
but even the ones older than you, Bob, it's just a stay.
R5. I'm like, but I grew up with you, you know. So I did not want my boys to turn out like that.
So, Max, you realize that you can't leave the boy child behind, right? You think, but the safest way to do it is take them out the environment and get them off the streets. What happened then?
Yeah, so I went to the coach of the soccer team where my boys were somewhere, and then I asked him, like, what do you guys need as support, you know? And he told me, like, the things that these people need are such basic things, you know? I have a network of men that are willing to do these things for these kids, even though whenever busy, they don't have time. I'm going to use my my influence and speak to these men and ask them to support these boys. Guys, my foundation is being helped by men, you know, especially the boy child.
Yes.
Every time I speak to any man, I say, my boys need this.
Done.
It's done.
Wow.
My soccer team is, it's in the township. I don't know if you guys have seen the soccer teams in the township. Those kids
They don't have soccer
they don't
boots, they don't have socks,
they don't wear matching kits. My
They don't
team,
have grass.
they don't have grass.
I can't imagine playing on with no soccer boots
No soccer boots.
on.
Ground dome. It's not even a
On
soccer
ground
field.
dome,
It's not a
yeah.
soccer field. Get ground dome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But since we've been involved, they have a soccer kit, they have a away kit, they have the one where they play at home, they have a training one, they have everything actually. My coach is like, we are the only team in Bloemfontein from the township that is treated so professionally because of what we have. And with my team since last year, now we are on the league. Now there's a league that we are playing on. We are number 1.
Well done.
Like, because they say when they walk into the field, everybody's so intimidated because, like, who are they? You know, they my boys, when they speak to you now, speak with respect. You know, and they are like, they carry this thing where they like, you know,
Banalisiriti,
you know, and they are winning, they're doing so. We are number 1 now. So if we were number 1 or 2 on this league, then we'll go to that one. No, Premier League. Yes.
Okay.
So guys, I want them to be in the Premier League because, like, they love, you know, and then there's other ones that don't play soccer that then support them and all of that. So I've realized how important sports is, you know, because especially I run and I swim, and I've seen mentally how beautiful it helps me to be active, you know. So I can't even, like, now they have something to look forward to. So in the morning, it's school. Afternoon training, weekends, matches. You know, so that's what has been happening to them, and it's just been such a beautiful thing to watch.
You know, and think about how simple that is, right? If you think about white kids and how they grew up, right? They'd go to school and they'd have afternoon activities. On weekends, they play matches. The family comes, and then the weekend is over. Monday starts all over again. So there was that structure, and there was almost that support. There's that support structure they make for themselves. And look how far they get. Imagine if we had that in the township. You know what I mean? Because that's what doesn't exist, and it's such a small and simple thing. Because you're saying, when your boys go out there on that field, they look good, they're great, but they also have an entire village behind them. The boys that don't play soccer, they support them, they're there for them. And that's the difference that it makes in their lives. That's beautiful. And that's something that we're missing.
It's inspiring. So if you see I really would like to challenge anybody that is interested in this part, is that if you see a soccer team anywhere, please just adopt them. If you knew what they need, the money you spend in a restaurant for a month, that money you can actually use to support this team and just help them to, you know, to be as great as my team.
That's amazing. You know, so do you think why and do you think there's enough people like you who are giving back? You know, do you?
I think if there are, we're all working in silo, you know. We're just doing our own thing there at the corner. If we could just all of us just be like, okay, how can we become impactful,
Again.
I'm trying to drink the coffee. I'm trying to hold it. I was trying to hold it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's two things, funny, because I went to the Free State most influential people, 100, they were given awards, and I was the only one with social impact. Everybody were entrepreneurs, entertainment, hara. I was the only one with influential for giving back, social impact that does not benefit me. So I wish that maybe if there were more of us, then we can all come together, but I know for sure, like I'm saying, people want to help, but they don't know how.
They're looking for a conduit.
They are, yes. And that's what I have seen that, and I know whoever, I can call anybody. I know that because I already know this person is able to help.
Right, yeah.
I'll tell them this is where we are. And they see on social media, they see that this thing is serious. And they do help us, so give 50-50.
Yeah.
What we're almost at the end. I know that we're running out of time, but, what would your message be to people out there? One, to the girl child. Secondly, to, the power of paying it forward, because it's not like you had it easy. You in no way had an easy upbringing and childhood, but you still felt the need that you want to give back to others, you want to help others. What does that do for you, and how does that change your life in so many ways? Because you could be living your best life and not worrying about those that are less fortunate, but you seem to keep going back.
Yeah, I go back because I had people that helped me, So as much as they helped me alone, I was like, how do I help multiple people? So I care about impact. I don't know how many times I've said that word. Impact is one of my values. It's something that I carry with me. So it's something that makes me wake up my employees. Like, these are people I want to make a difference in their lives. So I just wish that if you do have that thing where you feel like the world is bigger than you, whatever circumstances that you have gone through, that can help somebody else, and I'm not going to lie, because I have that sort of thinking, life has been quite humbling and very beautiful for me because of my role and understanding what my role is in the world, and I'm playing my part.
Wow. Yeah.
So somehow God or universe, whoever, I believe in God and the universe, has just been so kind to me, because I never need anything because I'm always giving,
Yeah.
but from,
Yes.
and I'm giving from a pure heart, not expecting anything from anybody.
Yeah.
Even my kids, when they're like, how can we ask? I'm like, go help somebody.
Yeah.
Just go help. Only tell me after 5 years how many kids you've helped. You know how much that will give. Like, I'll be so happy.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. That's to answer your question. It's if you can just find it in your heart. But there will be that thing in your heart. You know it. Whoever's listening, you know that thing that I'm talking about. Then go after that. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. It's been absolutely beautiful having you with us. You've definitely been an inspiration to us as well, and it's great to know that there's so many people out there that are just living beyond themselves and their means and their circumstances, just to give and make a difference in other people's lives, and that's what we're here for. So keep doing the wonderful work that you do.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
I think we should probably plan a tour to
Bloemfontein.
To the Free State.
That would be so nice.
Go and see the boys and
So if they make it, let's then challenge ourselves, because it's important that we actually set. If they make it to the Premier League,
Super League.
Super League. It's called the Super League. So let us know when they make it to the Super League, right? Let us know.
Guys, if you guys come with the cameras and everything.
When they make it.
When they make it.
Yes.
When they make it to
That
the Super
will
League.
inspire them so much.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like, what? We are on a podcast.
We'll come visit.
Yeah.
We'll come visit, and we'll see if we can't bring some friends along.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell them they live their lives to make sure that they win. So let's see.
Brilliant. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Thank you very much. I think that's it. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, that's it. We'll look out for more of our podcasts coming through, Live Beyond. It's been an absolute pleasure having Mags with us. It's wonderful not to have just one Mac. It feels greater when you have two Macs. It feels magnanimous.
Yeah. Yeah, and please remember to press the like button and follow us. The more followers we have, the more people we're bringing these beautiful, inspiring messages to. So click the button below.
That's it.
Yeah, guys, this was nice. I feel like I went to church.
Our job is done.